All right. What's going on, everyone? We are live. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Unconventional Mindset. My name is Odum. Today is Friday, and we are going to build ourselves a company worth $1 million, or at least a company that generates $1 million in revenue every single year. That's what we're working towards. Today, we're going to get back into Webflow. We're going to keep working on our style guide and our initial template, which is basically going to be a bare bones template. And we really need to have our style guide kind of established so we can use that to incorporate into the template. So, you know what would be really cool? I don't think you can do this, but if you can link one style guide from one Webflow to the other, that would be really, really cool. I don't think you can do that. No, because that'd be like cross platform. It'd be like you'd have to do like some crazy iframe stuff. Anyway, so that's what we're going to keep going. Just today, just before we get going, I did have the final interview with the Propel, like entrepreneur venture, or what are they? They're like the program that helps entrepreneurs, I guess, here in Eastern Canada. And so I had that. I think it went well. I just kind of showed what my lean canvas was, and then I showed what my what the projected map is or whatever, and we kind of talked a little bit about that. But so far, I don't know. I think it went good. It's just now I'm just waiting to see if I move on to the next level, and that next level will be the validation phase, which would be really good because that's kind of the phase that we're in right now, or we're going to be very soon, where I'm going to be asking people like you that watch my videos and that are interested in the components and templates that I'm building to help test and kind of validate the actual software and figuring out pricing and all that kind of stuff and figure out what the customer pain points. All right, so that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. So hopefully I get in and hopefully I can continue on. And then from there, I'll be getting there'll be like an actual one-on-one dedicated coach. And then there'll be like regular check-in calls and meetings with other entrepreneurs and stuff like that too. So more up my alley in terms of what it is that I'm looking for. So I'm excited about that. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep plugging away, and we're gonna see what happens. So I like it. I love being in the space of other entrepreneurs and other people that are excited to build things. It's just really cool, and I always have I have a tendency to always want to try to promote other people to branching off and doing their own thing. And I was talking to somebody earlier, and they have a really fantastic idea of a product that I think would work really, really well. And like by really well, I mean like establishing like high paying clients, like 6-figure clients easy. For establishing this product, which would be not a very simple thing. It'd be a little bit more complex, but to get established as like the company that can do this thing for this specific type of client, it's a 7-8 figure like agency, no problem. But yeah, it's just, they're like, well, I don't know, and what have you. It's like, what do you have to lose? Just try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No, you don't have to quit your job. You don't have to do anything. Just try to make it work. At the end of the day, you'll be happier doing the stuff that you love to do. So I'm always going to encourage people to give it a shot. Give it a shot. It can't be worse than whatever it is now in terms of working for yourself, working for other people, and having a boss and having to deal with bureaucracy and red tape. And give it a shot. Okay. So this is our homepage. Let's look at our style guide, which I think is where we were at. Yep. So here's our style guide. And I want to go back to this dashboard here. I want to take a look and bring up our initial designs. And then let's also take a look at client first to have that one kind of in the background. Because we want to make sure that we're following the right principles, which is, of course, what we're doing, what we want to do. Let's go to the documentation. That's what we're going to want to do. Hey, what's going on, Kevin? How you doing? Getting all set for the weekend? Da, da. All right. Da, da, da. Okay. So let's go back here. Let's go into our style guides. And I think we can work on, what can we work on? We can work on our lists. We got the page structures. We got the HTML. Yeah, let's work on our HTML tags and the default HTML items. So let's do another section. Just to have a little bit more padding in there. This is also going to be and what do we have? We have just general paragraphs, right? So let's go here. So we're going to call this a paragraph. All paragraphs, and size, of course, we're going to make it, oh, I got margins, but I don't have, can't see. Oh, we don't have anything for text. Okay, so let's go to text. Let's look at our variables, and let's create I guess a new size. So where is it? What do we want to call this? Let's call it text. I guess we'll start with extra small and go up from there. And then extra small will be, say, 0.75. Should be even smaller than that. So we're going to have extra small, small, medium, which will just be like your regular size. So yeah, let's go 0.75. Oh, that just deleted. Oh, right. I can't do it. It's not underscore. It's a backslash. New variable, size. Text slash small, and oops, 0.875 relative units. New variable, size, text, medium, 1. A new variable, size, text slash large, 1.25. Then one last one, text slash extra large, 1.5. Okay. We'll have to see later on as we move forward if we want to add in more variables or less or what have you, but I think we don't want to make it too complicated, at least not here at the start. Okay, so getting back to our sizing for our paragraph, we want text medium. All right, the heights. I don't know, what do we do with the heights? What did we do with the H's? I think we just set them standard, right? I think we should set a global line height. That would be kind of nice. So what do I have? Like padding global. So what should we call it? Oh, right. We can't send, we can't do anything without units here. That's the problem. Shoot. I mean, I guess we can use REMs. Would that work? Let's see if we call it, let's call it line height and say global. And let's just say 1.2 REM. No, that won't work. It can't be REM. It has to be EMs, I think. So let's go here. So if we have our H1, and if our height goes to line height, global 1.2, okay, that seems okay. So the line height is staying consistent. So that's good. So maybe we can do that. And then for everything, let's just go to all the other headings. Let's make the height. Oh, not here. Let's make it a global variable, which is kind of nice. I like that. Unless there's going to be any problems with that. I don't foresee any problems with using EMs for the line height. Do any of you guys see any issues with that? Any potential pitfalls? I think it should be okay. And global. And I'm also wondering too, if we should have the heading sizes be global variables as well too. Like I feel if you can go in here, if you go into this place and you edit stuff, would be easier than going into here and editing. You can't even edit in here anyways. Unless you can. No, you can't. Just need to remember for interactions to set new values as EMs too, since they should match from initial state. Right, if we do any interactions that have any font size increasing or what have you. So that is an issue when using different types of units. And that would be the only place where we're using that type of unit with the line heights. That's a good point. Does client first, they don't say anything about interactions at all. No, it's just literally just kind of how to navigate your styles, I think, and how to basically name things. Okay. We might have to come up with our own little reason of how to, make animations. Or how to name animations. Because even looking at your animation interactions could be a little bit of pain, especially if you've got lots of stuff going on in this whole interaction pane. Okay, so where were we? Paragraph. So, no, remove that class. Did that create that? Let's delete that. Paragraph. Delete. Okay. All paragraphs. Size. So text. Medium. Height. That's line height. 1.2. And yeah, colors as well. We want to get I don't know what to do with colors. Let's have a quick look here. Let's rename this to color. Do I name color the American way, so the wrong way, or do I write it the rest of the world way with a U? I guess I'll use it the American way because that's how CSS is typed. So, yeah. Listen, you know, we all can't be right all the time. So, oh my goodness. All right. We will do it. Oh, no, that's horrible. Oh, I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. That's funny. It's funny. I get color mixed up all the time when I do CSS. I'm like, it's not working. What the hell's going on? It's like, oh, because the color's not spelled correctly. Oh, man. Background color or text color or whatever. All the different colors. Okay, paragraphs. So we got paragraphs. And let's create something else. And let's say, what do we have? We know we have quotes. That's another element. So let's go a block quote. Let's just call it what it is. It is a block quote. Hello, this is a quote. And within it, you can type in a very inspirational quote to give your audience hope. It sounds really cheesy. Okay. So the block quote. This is interesting now, because this is more of a design choice, I think, than anything. Although, so how do these guys handle quotes? I would imagine that they just have their own unique style. Do they even put anything on here? They just do a little bit stuff with the padding, a little bit of changes in the font size and then the height. Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's all they're doing. Okay, so let's see what we want to do. This one I had it with, I even got rid of that thing on the end. Yeah, quotes with this bar on the end. It is kind of silly. I usually never do that, but So again, we're thinking minimal. Okay, well, let's look at our font size. Oh, do I have a font size? I don't have font size. Yes, I do. I must. Text, yes. So large text. And let's see what the line height. Okay. So the padding, I think, goes how far away it is from the side here. What's the 168? No, that's not what it is. Alt code for quote. Open quote. Alt 0146. Alt 0146. Oh, that's not right. 0147. And then Alt 0146. Oh. There we go. Open quote, close quote. Yeah, I don't like quotes having this thing on the side. So we're going to get rid of that. I mean, I guess. No, we don't have to do anything. We just have no style there. And then padding. And I just don't think we want any padding. And what do we do about margins? Do we put margins on the bottom of things? I guess in a paragraph you do, but you never want your last paragraph to have a margin. So is there anything in the global styles that says anything about the last paragraph to remove the padding at the bottom? Get rid of bottom margin on last element in any rich text. Only in rich text, eh? Okay. So that's the rich text, but not... And that's class W rich text. So everything has to be in rich text. So I guess the idea then is that if you're doing anything with paragraphs that are just in line, that are not within a rich text field, that you can just update with some type of like utility class, like padding bottom 0. I guess that's the idea behind that. So, because let's take a look at this one. Oh, this one still has a paragraph of 0. Interesting. Okay, so they're just putting it at 0. But if you have multiple paragraphs, then they're just going to, but they're not stacked. So why are they? Oh, that's just because of this. That's in a grid, and the grid itself. Okay. So that's where the spacing comes into play, because of the grid. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Okay, we'll worry about all the paddings later. So I'd like that. I guess we'll reset everything to 0, and then a user can decide on what paddings they want to put on things at the bottom. I guess that makes sense. So we'll 0 everything. And what is... Okay, that doesn't look so bad. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's get all these elements knocked out. What's the next element? What do we have? We have list items. List items. Ordered list. This is a list item. So let's go all ordered list. This is where it's difficult to know what to put in for the padding, because each font has its own different size. It also depends on how many list items you actually have, on how it gets laid out nicely. So I'm curious to what these guys do with their lists. So they just probably have, they do relative units. just a 1.5. So if you go into double digits, it's still going to be okay. But triple digits, then it's not going to line up nicely. Yeah, that's the problem. And probably the same thing with the ordered list. Yeah, same thing. Or unordered list, I should say. Okay, let's take a look. So 0, we still want zeros here at the bottom. Let's do our padding. Yeah, because it is padding. Oh no, this is different. This is different. I don't think we should use a variable here. No, I think we should hard code it. But I wonder. And then in our list item, so our list item, that's where we're going to take a look at our text size, put that medium, and again, the height, we're going to do the same. Line height, global. And I feel, so I know for me, I always put a spacing underneath my list items. But again, I think we need to keep in mind what we're building here. And we're building out something that is completely naked and completely minimal. So that way a user can take this and run with it and do what they want in their specific project. So I shouldn't put in any defaults. I gotta always keep that in mind. Okay. So that works. And let's duplicate this. But instead, oh, I got a phone call. I don't know if I should get this one. 1 second. Hello, Doom speaking.
Hi, Odom. This is Ayush here. I am calling from the Google New Business Onboarding team. Calling regarding the Google Ads campaign for Pixel. Would it be possible to talk to someone who handles the account for the same?
Yeah, that would be me. Although I'm actually in the middle of a live stream, so now's not a good time for me to be talking.
Oh, okay, no problem. So I sent you an email regarding the same as well. So have a look at it, and I can give you a call on Monday, or as my calendar link can schedule a meeting. Just wanted to introduce myself as I have been assigned as your dedicated account specialist.
Okay. Yep, that sounds good. All right, I'll have a look at that email and get back to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, you got it. You too. Bye now. That was someone from Google. My dedicated account manager for Google Ads. It's like, I see you're spending money. Let me introduce you to how you can spend more money. Oh, my goodness. You like your Webflow like you like your coffee? It's naked? Have you tried that? I'd like to see any looks that you get by ordering a naked coffee. Oh, that's funny. How come this hasn't changed? Oh, I don't want an ordered list. I want, I need this to be unordered list. There we go. Style, all unordered lists. 1.5. No, this one, we can get it right on the nose. I wonder if it depends on the font though. Oh yeah, different fonts are going to have their things on different spots. Ah, so frustrating. Let's go 1 and reset that. Wait for them to ask and then explain. Oh, wait for them to ask. Yeah, for the coffee. Hope we don't catch on and go viral. When you hear it in Canada, you'll know that you started it. Yeah, when it gets to Canada. That's hilarious. So when you say it and then you explain, then what do they say after you explain? That's the funny thing is what are people's reactions after it's been explained. You have more weird looks. Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't know. Is it going to catch on then? If it doesn't make people laugh, I don't know. The people that get it, though, they'll get it. They'll be like, yeah, you're on to something. Oh, it's too funny. Okay. Ordered list. So what else do we need? What else do they have? I guess there's form elements as well that we need to take over. There could be regular just text. What's that? Need a website to explain it. Can you imagine? It's like, what does that mean? I can't explain it. Here's my card. Here's a website. Go look it up. Go do your own research. Next project, yeah. Build it with pixel pieces. That'd be awesome. That'd be hilarious. All right. Text. So text block. So a text block. They don't have dedicated text blocks. Right. I remember that. So that's not going to be a thing. Okay. So we're going to have buttons. Link block. I don't think, is that a thing that you can? I don't think you can. All links. Okay. We'll have to do something for links. Even if it's just to minimize it or minimize it to nakedify. That's not a word. Gotta have something. Make it naked. I don't know. Headings, paragraph, text link, text blocks, block quote. Ugh, rich text. I don't like doing rich text. I like to save that till last. I guess let's go to forms. There's all this advanced stuff as well too. Should probably do some stuff with things like the tabs and the lightbox and yeah, we'll do that too. Okay, so ooh, the file upload. I do want to style that one as well, but only for specific plans. Okay. We should probably do this one in another section. So let's create another section here. Actually, this isn't another section. This is another section here, this style guide headings. I should probably duplicate it that way. So delete that. This is, say, pixel. Yeah, no, style guide. Elements, right? And then this will be pixel, style guide, form or forms, maybe just form for now. We'll see if it makes sense later. So you can get rid of this one and get rid of this one And this one here, get rid of this one, get rid of this one. And this form here, let's just bring you right here. Okay. What's going to be the best way? So this one doesn't have an element either. I guess let's give it a class name. It needs a class name, and then we'll use the class name that these guys have for client first, which will be... Oh, they have the text sizing. Okay, yeah, we should do that as well too. All these helper items, text classes. Okay, cool. Widths, paddings, margins, spacers, icons, utility, elements. How's this different? Oh, this is in rich text. Okay. I was just going to say, how's this different from the other headings? But this is inside a rich text. Okay. Okay, Webflow elements with client first classes applied. Okay. Right, they're going to apply the class. So they applied the class here instead of all labels. Because I think there's, like in here, you have a label. And you could do it as a label as opposed to having a class. Which is interesting. If I just delete this. Oh, and they do have some styling with just all labels, but then they added other classing or other classes for, or other styling for this class when they added form label. Oh, but they don't. They just have that class applied. So I can do a label inside of that RTE. Not sure what you mean. Like inside of... Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure exactly what you mean. So what is the benefit? Do they have forms here? I don't have forms. Just like to know what their strategy and reasoning behind putting I guess it's just having that applied. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. But when you create a new form, you're just going to have to redo that styling anyways, or you're going to have to redo that class labeling because it's not going to come with that outside, out the box. Right, I see. Sorry, what does RTE stand for? I guess maybe that's where I'm a little mixed up. So when you're on H2 element in a RTE, you can assign a class to that label. Oh, yes. Yeah, got it. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, no, absolutely. I guess when I was talking about labeling, I was talking about an actual form label, like the actual form label element. But yeah, absolutely. Inside rich text, you can have multiple different ones. I guess that's when I was going with this one here and looking at these two. Those all H5 elements inside of this. Oh, actually, Actually, I don't think you can apply a class to an element, like an H1 element. You only can have the class applied to the rich text itself, and then it only updates the elements within there. So you can't have individual classes. And as for like a label, then I don't think you can do a form inside a rich text element. I haven't seen that before. So yeah, within rich text, I think you're limited to only targeting those elements within there. And you can't have different classes for different things, like different H2 elements, for example. Which is kind of unfortunate, but I guess that'd be like super complicated. Especially if you're generating things dynamically. Like, yeah, good. Yeah, you can't do that. That would be a nightmare. Okay. So utilizing what they have here with their client first, they call the form, they call it form component and form. And I get it. I guess that's going to bring it up so that when you look at your client first attributes, or your folders, I should say, you have the form. Then you have the styling for the form. Can you bring it up? It'd be nice to see what the styles are. There's actually nothing applied. I think the idea here is that you can just take this form and just copy and paste this form. And then you just have it with the proper class structure already enabled, which is fair. So let's do something like that. I like that. So let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's use client first. Obviously, that's what we're kind of doing. Form. I hope they update their UI with this soon to match the new icons and the new look and feel of Webflow. And I would imagine that updates on its own. Like, they have different release dates. July, October, July. So features we're working on: search and replace classes, sitemap generator, symbols reorder, update styling, update the look. Okay, so what do we want? So this is a text input field. And let's go to all labels. And again, no margins. And we should give this medium text and then the line height as well. Okay, good. Form label. Then we don't need a second text field because we have them all, or we have one already. And this is going to be a form. Just form field or form input. I feel like input makes the most sense because it's an input field. And again, font size. And We can't target all input fields, can we? We can't do anything. Oh, what did I do? Did I erase everything somehow? No spacing. Where is it getting its border? Interesting. It's got to be getting that styling from somewhere. But here it doesn't have anything. Well, we definitely need a border. And we're going to update our colors at some point. But we can leave it there for now. So we need another... What are the other elements in a form? Well, we definitely need a selection. And let's just copy the label. Selection field. Just capitalize that. And we're going to call this form. Actually, 1 second. No, still no defaults. Okay, so form select. I think that's what it is. Let's be sure. It's still a form input. Oh, but is select input. Okay, interesting. So why are they doing that? Right, because all the inputs are inputs, but then we also want to have like whatever it is, right? Okay, fair enough. And then this should be form. Oh, that's still form checkbox, of course, which is not an input. And then form radio. Form radio icon, form radio label. Okay, perfect. Should almost just copy and paste this. But let's do it by hand, just so we can get used to the nomenclature. Okay. So let's get rid of that. So this is form input, but also, what is it? Is select? Is that right? Is select input. Okay. Okay. So we need another, actually, sorry, let's copy another one here. And let's input or add our text area. So text area input field. All right. Excuse me, form input, and then is text area. Is text area input? Or are they just saying is text area? Text area with it's two words, okay. Is text area. Cool. Hey, what's going on? Is it PUBG life? How you doing today? So I take it, are you struggling with or trying to decide as to whether you want to like learn Framer versus Webflow? Trying to figure out which one makes the most sense for you. Okay, we need a radio button. And where did it go? Radio button. Click yes. Okay, there it is. Weird. Okay. So we have the radio button label and then also the radio button field. So how are these classes divided up? Just form radio, the icon, and then the label. What's that? Oh, excuse me. It's not really an icon. It's more like the check area. Okay, we'll do that though. So form radio. Does it actually have a padding of 20 on the side, or is that just my imagination? No, it does. Okay, so we don't want that to be 20. Oh, go back. Maybe something like that. And this is, oh, hang on a second. What did I do? No, that's right. So form radio icon. And then form radio label. Yeah, so yesterday, no, I saw, yeah. I appreciate that. You think both is good, but Framer is new, so it has to add lots of features, yeah. On the other hand, Webflow is already playing in the market well. Yeah, I mean, Webflow's, it's a lot more established than Framer, for sure. But Framer seems to have good traction. How well it's going to go, I don't know. But I'm not going to count Webflow on going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, it's an interesting call. Decisions. Hey, but at least if you go with Webflow, you can always come here, and we can always hang out and figure out things that we need to figure out. It's always interesting when there's that new kid on the block. It's like, oh, maybe I should try that one out. But if it's working for you right now, does it make any sense to change? And that's for me, like Webflow is working well for me, so I don't even feel the need to change. What is it? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Checkbox, geez, that's what it's called. Going blank there. Okay, form checkbox. Let's make sure that's correct. Yeah, form checkbox. Yeah, it's the same thing. And form checkbox, we are going to have that at 1.5 and just everything at 0 for now. And form checkbox icon, and then form underscore checkbox label. Excellent. And what else is there? I guess there's the input or the upload button, which I can't really get at right now, which kind of sucks. And the form button. ReCAPTCHA. I guess there's not much we can do for this, is there? Go to form settings. Right, I just have to get my key. Okay, which I haven't done. Okay, we're not gonna worry about that. That's super specific. Delete that. And now the buttons. The buttons. Probably going to make our own buttons and then have the form inputs use the same styling, right? A style of button. No, not there. And that just has button. And then it has is form submit. Okay, so there's different buttons. Where are all the buttons? Button is small, is secondary, is text. Not sure why you'd want that, but okay. Is icon, interesting. This icon's not centered. Drives me bananas. Okay, stop switching. So we will just put that in for now. And is form submit, right? Button. Oh, geez, where am I going? Right, back here. Is form submit. In case you want to do anything special, I guess, with that one. Cool. Thanks for watching my videos. Appreciate that. Learning how you're planning on doing those things. I will say too, though, because my videos aren't really they're not really tutorial type videos at all in any sense of the word. I do want to make Webflow tutorial videos, actually good high production quality videos for educational purposes that will be off of Pixel Pieces at some point. I would highly recommend Webflow University because their videos are really, really good. And they really help. I've watched a ton of their videos when I was first learning Webflow. So it was very, very helpful. So highly recommend their videos. Okay, that's my form. Am I missing anything from the form? They got the text. Did I just say sex? Text inputs. It's weird, just still getting used to just talking out loud. Sometimes I'm talking out loud just to give you guys an idea of what I'm thinking, but then I kind of trail off. My mind just goes off. Right, okay, form component, which we don't have. Oh no, we do have that. But what we need then is a title. So let's get our title here, which is form component, which is also the name of the class. Cool. Yes, I know things aren't styled here at all. This is just super bare bones now, and I'll still need to think about what I want to put in this whole naked theme and how bare bones this is going to need to be. Okay, what's next? Maybe, what do we do? Buttons next? Let's work on some buttons. And are there buttons actually buttons, or are they buttons that are also just link text made as buttons? Because you don't want to use buttons for everything, right? So yeah, so that's a button. That's also a button. This is a button with text. So I say this because there's a difference if you want to be super strict with your HTML and use the best things for things, which you probably should. So basically, if you have a button that just takes you to another page, like learn more, and it takes you to another page, you don't want that to actually be an HTML button. Because a button is basically a structure for performing an action. So if it's like submitting a form or whatever, yes, put that as a button. But if it's for going to another page, then you want that to be an actual link. But you still want it to look like a button. So we're just going to have to make sure that the class of button is going to work for both actual buttons and text links that are styled as button. I know that sometimes there's a few issues depending on if things are underlined or not, because if you have a link, it's just going to underline things. So we just have to make sure that our styling is consistent. So we'll do that. Okay. I think Webflow should be used instead of hardcore coding for various landing pages or introduction websites. Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect tool. That's it's so good for just creating a small site. And if you just want to have something up and running really, really fast. It's like I've had some people reach out to me and they're like, hey, I want to get you to, can you build me a website or what have you? And then I look at my rates. I'm like, it's going to be like $3,000 even if it's for kind of a simple site. Cause that's just kind of what my rates are, at least like starting. Like I won't do any web project that's under $3,000 because it's just not worth my time. And they're like, well, that's too expensive. I can't, they could only afford, 500 or whatever. So that's kind of another reason why I'm building these templates, because it would be fantastic if I could just say, hey, listen, I can't make you a website, but just take this template right here. And then I can help guide them into the right direction, make sure that the documentation is really, really good. And then, of course, I'll be around there to help them. And there'll be all kinds of videos on those templates. You don't have that here very much in the Webflow space. I mean, there's lots of templates, but the documentation's, it's hit and miss. So that's kind of one of the niches that I'm hoping that I can solve. So, but yeah, small, simple websites, and you don't have to worry with WordPress, dealing with WordPress installs and all that kind of stuff. Like Webflow, it just works, right? And your website is just up, and it's like so super easy, and it has an intuitive interface and an editor for people to edit the content quickly. It's just nice. It's just a really nice platform. Okay. Buttons, right. I was rambling on about buttons. So these are the ones that I did here: primary, secondary, reverse. Okay. So, and then here they have is small, is text, is secondary. So I like primary, I like secondary as well, but I also like reverse, because secondary, I want that to be a secondary color. Because you want to have, and maybe even tertiary if there's 3 different colors. And we'll map that to the color palette and to variables. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's copy paste. We have another one here, which is going to be called Pixel Style Guide _ buttons. Okay. Buttons. How do I get clients? I did do a live stream on that where I was kind of talking about how I made my first 100,000 in my first year of business. And okay, I'll just do this very, very quick. So number one, I already had an established network of people that knew who I am and that know the type of work that I do. And when I went off on my own and said, I'm going off on my own, a lot of those people that knew me sent work my way. So that was a good part of the initial contract work that I got, was from my initial connections. So, and what I say to people that are new, that are getting started, is let people know what you're doing, tell people what you do, and grow your network of like professional contacts. And whether that's through LinkedIn or through your current work or your employment, let people know what it is that you do. So that's number one. And number two would be going to like networking events and interacting with other entrepreneurs. I've been doing that more in person, through in-person events. And I've gotten a few people that way that have needed help with their own projects, with their own businesses, where they need a website or what have you. So that's the second way. So those are the two primary ways right now that I've gotten clients. And I do have my website. My website's up, but I haven't gotten a completely cold sale from my website at this stage of the game. But it's a little bit different now because like I'm not actively seeking to get clients, because I have enough with the few clients that I have right now. It's enough for me to pay my bills on a month-to-month basis because they hire me on a recurring basis. And I'm focusing on building this Pixel Pieces. So I'm not really focused on trying to get clients. But if I was, I would probably I would change up what I'm doing here on YouTube, and I would do it more of an educational YouTube. So I would make videos about how to build websites, how to make websites, how to make changes to your websites, how to build a business website or whatever, targeting the type of clients that I would want to get. I would focus my videos on that strategy, and I would probably run some type of ad campaign to try to get to my customers and have them come onto my website and see how my website can convert. So in a nutshell, that's kind of where I am and what I would do if I was trying to look for clients today. But it's a slow process. I mean, it's understanding your customer, understanding what their needs are, understanding what their pain points are, and figuring out how you could message what it is that you do to target them specifically, and for them to jump on board and to trust you that you can be the person that they need to solve their problem. So yeah, in short, do you have any personal website? So I mean, like I have my company website, if that's what you mean, like a personal website for me. I have two websites right now that you could check out. So I'll put them here in the chat. So there's pixel.ca, that's my company website. And then I have this one here. It's called Unconventional Mindset. You might find this interesting if you're interested in how to get clients. So like this live stream now, it's called the Unconventional Mindset. And this is my website now, which I'm not doing very much with it at all. Except what I do now is I have a newsletter. So I just read a newsletter, which is just my whole thoughts about business and the process I'm going to, how to get clients and how to think about growing my business, all that kind of stuff. So I kind of have that here. So all my thoughts about business and trying to grow a business that's $1 million company, it's all going to be in here. So if that's interest of you, check it out and subscribe. That'd be fantastic. But yeah, what this is going to end up being, I don't know. But if you're interested in business and everything about business and trying to build a business, that's where all of my stuff is going to kind of get dumped into. Because that's what I'm really fascinated with right now, is like, how do you build a business? Because again, I've said this before, there's so many YouTubers out there today that, they'll have like, here's how you make $1 million or whatever. And they just have these points, which are like, I've read, like everyone is saying the same thing. And it's hard to really understand how to apply that into whatever it is you're doing. So the idea for me is like, I'm going to try to apply it right here live so people can see. And then we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. So that's the angle that I'm taking. And the thing is too, is I think there's some truth to the saying of it takes money to make money. Because if I had $100,000 like cash, I think I'd have a much easier time making money than if I had like the amount of money that I have now, which is which is not that. So it's a harder grind. Okay. Buttons. Okay. Oh, I'm forgetting something. Right, pixel style guide item. So we need to wrap this in a div tag. There we go. Pixel style guide item. Control-G. Okay. So, but actually I want to put in, should I put in a text? Maybe it should even be a paragraph. There are two types of buttons. Button and so be sure to use each one correctly. HTML button for actions and link buttons for navigation to another page. Okay. So with a regular button, I mean, it's just going to be not button primary, is it? No, because I'm just going to call it, yeah, it's just button. And then if it's secondary, tertiary, what have you, that's when we put the is whatever. But I like the is small and is large. That's cool. Right. And I got to put this label here at the top so people know what's what. Ooh, oh, right. So I'm using it a little bit differently. So this is the actual class. Okay. So if I do this as a class. Oh, okay. I was doing a little bit differently. Okay. Let's do it this way. Gotcha. So let's just do a heading just for. Okay, I'll just call this buttons. And then we'll get into the types of buttons. Right, okay. What time is it? Oh my goodness, it's already 2:20. Man, time goes by fast. Pizza Friday today, as always. I love Pizza Friday. There's no other better day in the week. Unless it's maybe Pizza Thursday. Okay. All right. I can't wait to get through this whole style guide thing, and then we can actually start building our actual naked flow. Gotta get the name right. Naked flow. Doing a bachelor's in CSE. Is that computer science and engineering? Awesome. React.js. Yep. Preparing some projects. Yeah, keep working away, keep plugging away, keep making projects, and beef up that portfolio. Right on. How are your studies going? Getting close to being done, which is always exciting. I went to school and did biology of all things, and here I am, heavily into computers. Okay, so yeah, we got our button. That's our standard button. Let's get, what do we want for our padding? Right. Here's a question that I have. So we have all these global styles for this padding now. Do we want to apply it? Because somebody could change the padding style, right? So that's the whole idea. So say, for example, we make this padding small, right? Which is fine. So it's a variable. But if somebody goes into here and they look at paddings and they're like, ooh, I don't like the small being 1. I want it to be 1.5 as an example. How are they going to know what elements that this variable is going to affect? I guess that'll be in the documentation. Because anything that has padding, it's going to be this. But I guess the idea is to make it visually appealing for everything in the style guide that has padding or what have you, that everything expands and contracts in a way that's consistent, right? So if you make the padding medium, you make it larger, then everything that's medium is going to proportionally grow, right? I don't know if that's gonna work though. Like, hopefully, I guess people wouldn't really touch like the paddings and the margins and all these settings. Really, you'd want to go after the color, and maybe the container size. So if that's the case, then do we want to have these as variables that people can change? Oh, good questions. I think so. But I guess we'll see. We'll see once people start using it. And see how well it gets taken up and see what the feedback is. First year student. Oh boy. So you just started. You're fresh. Totally fresh into university. Well, enjoy. Have a good time. Yeah, focus on your studies though. I will say this. Depending on, take everything I say with a huge grain of salt because everyone's different and everyone has their own opinions. Because I don't even like university, even though I spent like 8 years studying in university and then like another 15 years of my career there in academia. But unless you're planning on going to graduate school and going further on, like the grades that you get in university, like it doesn't matter. Like whether you get 99% or whether you get like 60%, like a degree's a degree, and like employers aren't going to check what your grades are. So what you do with that information is totally up to you. But have fun, enjoy, and, learn as best as you can. And always definitely question your professors. It might seem like they know everything, but they don't. Some of them are good. When you have a good professor, you'll know because you'll be like, I want you to teach me everything that you know. But other professors are like, how did you even get a degree? What are you doing? I hope no one here at the university hears me say this. I guess I'm not naming any names. Oh boy. Okay, I'm focus. I haven't done anything here. What was I doing? Yes, I was rambling on about padding. So I think if we have, I like to have padding usually about twice the size on left and right as I do up and down. So let's change this one to extra small and change the padding on the left and right to small. Perfect. So that's a regular button. And we want to create a new one. So this is button, and we'll do the is small. Oh, wait. Excuse me. We also need to do the actual text size. And this is just going to be, your regular button is just your regular text size. And we need a line height, the global line height. And what should the weight of a button be? I feel like it should be bold, but actually we need to hang off on the weight and the fonts because those are going to be variables too. So we'll play with that another day. And I want to go on this padding. I need it in between. Let's create a new one. Size. So padding / extra small. And we want this to be, this is 0.5. And we're going to change extra small to be a little bit bigger, 7.5. And that should give us a little bit more breathing room on our buttons, which it does, which I like. Perfect. Okay, so button, and then is small. We're basically going to should we change the text? I guess we need to update the text. So instead of it being medium, we're going to make it small. Line height's going to stay the same. And we're going to take our padding and make it extra small. Padding extra small. Extra small. Okay, so that's our small button. And let's make our large button. So we want text. Should we make it much bigger? I feel like we should do a large and maybe even an extra large. Well, again, it depends on. Nah, the project can. You only need like 3 sizes. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. Okay, so. Oops. Undo that. I have to update this. Style is large. Okay. Size, text, large. That's going to stay the same. Padding top, small. small, medium, and medium. There. All right, I think that works. But I also want to, let's throw in a link text. So this is link button. And we'll call this button. So right, so what we need to do is we can see that we want no text decoration. And we have to get colors. We need to do colors sooner rather than later. Okay. We have to get them colors. All right. Let's do some colors. So we have color white, black. We're going to have color slash primary. Color slash secondary. Color slash tertiary. Is that spelled correctly? Yep. Okay. There's no O and a U in there, so don't have to get confused about that one. Okay. So our primary color, what are pixel pieces is colors? Because we should just steal those ones. All right. Primary color. Our secondary color, I think it would be this color. Oh, nope. No, tertiary color. Don't really have one. Let's pick one. Let's just make one up. What goes good with blue and pink? Or blue and purple, like a gold? Or a pink? Ooh, a green. I'm trying to decide. No, green. Yeah. Go more golden. Golden is better. Okay. So let's go back here. Let's go back to button. And we want to give it a background color. Primary. And a text color of white. Perfect. So it's interesting. So if you look at the link button versus the button, it's off by 1 pixel in terms of its alignment. That's interesting. Very interesting. So let's copy this link button. is small. Yeah, it's off by a pixel. Crazy. Is large. And that one is even. Huh, interesting. Then we'll have to get some hover effects and stuff like that, but later. Okay. We want to do let's copy the regular button. And this is going to be, actually, I got that wrong. Combo class, there we go. And this is button. What do I call it when it's flipped? Shit. Reverse, right? We'll say is reverse. So button is reverse. So we are going to basically, you know what I'll need to do if it's reversed, I'm going to have to put a border around all the other buttons, because if you do any hover effects and if the two buttons are side by side, they need to be equal. Right. Okay. So I'll give this a border. It's 1 pixel and its color is primary, and the actual color of the button should we make it transparent? I think we need to make it transparent. So let's make another color. We'll call this one transparent. And then its value let's just go zeros, and it's 0. So it's totally transparent. Okay. So let's go back here. So its background is transparent, and its color, well, I mean, it's going to depend on, actually we have the color, not black. I have it primary. It's going to depend on the color of the background, but again, users will decide. That's the whole beauty of it. And so this is reverse. Okay, excellent. I like that. But again, the button, we're going to have to put a border around it. And it's going to have to be the primary. So I guess with this, you should be able to put in is large, but I should also be able to put in is reverse, right? Yep, perfect. I like it. But what should the width of the pixels be? Should it be 2? Should it be 1? Don't know. We'll keep it at 1 for now. And then we'll design later on. And now, okay. Is secondary. Is secondary. So that just means the color needs to be the secondary color. The border needs to be the secondary border. But the question, hang on now, because if we do is reverse, right, that's not working. I don't think we have to worry about getting too fancy with all the different potential combinations of buttons. So is tertiary is going to be the tertiary color. Okay. So really interesting why those pixels are showing up like they are. Oh, totally forgot to change this. Yeah, interesting. Some are aligned, but some aren't. Huh, very interesting. Must be an issue with the relative units and the calculations. Okay, that's not bad. And these guys have button text is small, is an icon. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. And so if that's an icon, it's not going to be a button, but it's basically going to be, actually, it's going to have to be a link block. And that link block is going to have a text block and an actual icon as well. Do we have any icons? We have nothing in our assets right now. Okay. This is button. So this here is button. And I'm curious about the classes of calling it like a button icon. Ooh, this is just regular. So they're not doing anything here except for this icon class here. Which I'm not sold on these icon classes, but I need to have So let's put in a placeholder icon. I gotta find one. Clients. Assets, icons. What's a good icon? That's a stupid icon. Devices and electronics. Ooh, the AI icon. Sorry, just bear with me for a moment. Intelligence icon. I think there's 2 L's in there. Okay, so this is button, and then we have is icon. And then we are going to, let me zoom, this is zoomed in a little too much. We need to flex it, align center, and we don't want it to be the full breadth of the text. So what is going on there? I'm curious to see how these guys got around it. There's no width associated with it. Interesting. That just moves it to the middle, so I'm not sure. Does it have to do with my image? No, that's not doing anything. Why is this button spanning the whole width? I'm pretty sure this also is a... What are the settings? But this is a link block, right? So it's outlined like that. Let me... Oh, there's something with my... There's something with this. Because if I display it flex, it just automatically goes full. Does it, because it needs to have a gap? I'm missing something. What am I missing? What am I missing? Why is this going full width? I gotta be missing something. Does it have anything to do with the fact that it's in a grid? Right, so here's this button taken outside of that grid. So it is filling up the full thing. Okay, so it has to do with, yeah, interesting. So if you're using a button with an icon, I mean, I guess, what else could you, how else could we do it? You could put, and you have the button, but then you have is icon here on the inside. And then you flex it like this and like this. So that works. But then we have to do something to showcase that it's a different div that has the centering. Okay. We're going to put this and we're going to put an asterisk on that one. Okay. And that's buttons. I know it looks hideous. Don't worry. It's going to get a whole lot better. It's not always going to look this bad. I promise. Okay. It is just about 3:00 and that's Pizza Friday time. So I got to start making the dough, kneading the dough, making it rise, all that jazz. So we're going to leave it out there today. So thank you to everyone for joining. Thank you for chatting. Great to have you. Always great to have you in the chat. So I really, really appreciate the conversations. And yeah, it's Friday. So have yourself a fantastic weekend. And we're going to be back here on Monday. We're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to hammer out our style guide and get going on the naked flow, and I'm pretty sure by the end of the week we can have the whole naked flow ready to go and ready for anybody to test it if anybody wants to have a look and see what it's all about. So have a great weekend and we'll see you on Monday.